Kangaroo's Candy, a story to help children cope with divorce, by Dr. Lee Nyman Weiss, child psychologist. Kangaroo loved going to the supermarket with Mama Kangaroo. It was always a fun outing for just Mama and Kara. Kara was in charge of the grocery list. She loved being Mama's special helper. Kara helped Mama find all the groceries on the list. Then they headed toward the checkout line. On the way, they passed Kara's favorite aisle, aisle 6, the candy aisle. The candy aisle seemed to shout, "Pick me! Pick me!" Kara's eyes widened with excitement. She hoped Mama Kangaroo would let her buy a treat for being such a good grocery helper. Kara jumped up and down and pleaded with her mom. "May I have one candy bar, please? Pretty please?" "I'm sorry, Kara," Mama Kangaroo said, "but you will spoil your appetite for dinner." "But I want one," Kara said loudly, still jumping up and down. Mama Kangaroo only shook her head and repeated, "No." The next moment, Kara was on the floor, kicking and screaming and flailing her arms. "I want one! I want one! I want one now!" Kara's tail and paws accidentally hit the shelves, scattering the candy everywhere. All eyes were now on Kara and her mama. Other shoppers whispered to one another and shook their heads. Mama Kangaroo's face turned as red as a tomato with embarrassment. Mama Kangaroo said in a stern voice, "Come here, Kara. If you are going to act like a baby, you will have to sit in my pouch until you can control yourself and act your age." Kara Kangaroo stood up, tears streaming down her face, and hopped into Mama's pouch. Kara went home empty-handed. Mama Kangaroo was upset on the way home. She did not speak one word to Kara. Later on that evening, Papa Kangaroo and Mama Kangaroo got into an argument. Kara could hear the muffled sounds of her parents raising their voices from inside her bedroom. The next morning, Mama and Papa asked Kara to sit down for a family meeting. Kara noticed Mama Kangaroo's eyes were red and puffy from crying. Mama and Papa explained that they could not live in the same home anymore because they argued too much. They told Kara they were going to get a divorce and Papa would live in another home. Kara could not imagine her Papa living in another home. She felt really sad and scared. Mama and Papa told Kara they were sorry and that the divorce was not her fault. Kara, however, was convinced it was her fault. If she had not had that temper tantrum at the supermarket, Mama would not have been in a bad mood, and she and Papa would never have fought. Kara thought to herself, "It was that stupid candy bar and my whining that made Mama and Papa fight. It's my fault that Mama and Papa are getting a divorce. It's my fault that Papa is leaving." Kara started to cry. Mama and Papa tried to cheer her up, but she could not stop crying like a broken faucet. "I know what will cheer you up," Mama Kangaroo said. She gave Kara a candy bar. But when Kara saw the candy bar, she cried even harder. Papa knew Kara loved candy bars, so he was surprised at her reaction. He asked,
"Kara, what's wrong?"
Kara shook her head and went up to her room with her tail dragging heavily up the stairs. Kara vowed not to eat any more candy bars because her love for them had caused so much trouble. She figured if she stopped eating candy bars, everything would be okay again. She was going to fix everything so Mama and Papa would not get a divorce. Her decision was final. She was going on a candy bar strike. As soon as she made the promise to herself, she heard a knock on the door.
May we come in?
Papa asked. Yes, Kara answered, sniffling a little as she let Papa and Mama into her bedroom. You left this downstairs, Mama said, handing her the candy bar. No, thank you, Kara said. I'm on a candy bar strike. A what? Her parents asked. I'm on a candy bar strike, Kara answered. She explained that she wasn't going to eat any more candy bars. Not even one? Mama asked. Kara shook her head. No.
Never?
Papa asked. Kara shook her head a second time. Mama and Papa asked, Not ever? Kara shook her head a third time. Never, ever. But why? Her parents asked. We know candy bars are your favorite treat. Kara told her parents that her tantrum in the supermarket was the reason they were getting a divorce. She said, I'm sorry for breaking up our family because of a stupid candy bar. I really don't want Papa to move out. If I go on a candy bar strike, you and Papa won't need to get a divorce. Mama Kangaroo smiled sweetly at Kara. Oh, honey, it's not your fault. You have nothing to do with the arguments Papa and I have.
That's right, sweetheart,
Papa Kangaroo said.
Even though this is sad for everyone, it's not your fault. This is between your mama and me. We have decided to get a divorce because we don't love each other the way that we should and because we fight too much.
Papa continued.
But neither of us are divorcing you. That could never happen.
Kara hopped over to Papa, her heart beating quickly, and she asked the question she was afraid to ask. Will you stop loving me one day, Papa? Papa held Kara Kangaroo tightly and snuggled her to reassure her. He said,
Oh, my Kangaroo, mamas and papas do not stop loving their children or divorce them. Mamas and papas love their children forever, and your mama and I will always love you, no matter what.
Even though we will live in two separate homes, we will still love you. That will never change. We will always be your family, and you will always have both of us as parents. Kara smiled. Do you promise you'll always love me? Kara asked.
We promise,
Mama and Papa told Kara. This time Kara smiled one great big kangaroo smile and asked, Can I have my candy bar now, please? The end. Author's note to parents. As parents board their own emotional roller coaster, they hope to spare their children from the pain inherent in the divorce process. There are very specific actions parents can take to help children cope with this change in family structure. First, parents need to recognize that young children are at a different developmental level than older children. Younger children engage in very appropriate but egocentric thinking in which the world revolves around them. Thus, when parents explain that Dad is moving to another home, for example, a young child might think, Dad is leaving me. Parents can help by teaching children that divorce is not a child's fault. Parents can emphasize that they are not divorcing the child. Parents should normalize and empathize with the emotional reactions children have to parental divorce. Common emotional reactions include anger, often over the lack of control, sadness, and anxiety. There are 3 important steps parents can take to reassure an anxious child. The first step is to simply carry on with the child's daily routines. Next, parents can share what will remain the same and what will change in very concrete terms. Last, parents should aim to provide normalcy in the midst of the changes that occur in a divorce. Parents should expect that many children will engage in some regressive behavior. Examples: having accidents so they are fully potty trained, clinging to parents, and that this should only be temporary. If problems persist, seek the help of a mental health professional. The single most important way parents can help their children is to co-parent amicably and effectively. Parents should communicate the reasons for divorce together to the child and handle transitions thoughtfully from one parent to the other. Children often verbalize feeling as though they are the rope in a game of tug-of-war. Those children who feel stuck in the middle naturally develop loyalty conflicts when they receive the message that one parent hates the other. They feel torn as though they cannot love both parents and have to choose one over the other. Children are in tune with their parents' emotions, even if a parent is not overtly communicating negative feelings. Parents should make a point not to badmouth or more covertly communicate negative feelings about the other parent in the presence of the child. In order to do this, it is vital that parents find healthy ways to process their own emotions before they engage with their children's feelings. That may mean seeking out a therapist or support group or reflecting on feelings with other supportive adults. Parents need outlets for expressing their own emotions during the divorce process so that children do not have to act as mini therapists or emotional caretakers. Children also benefit from divorce support groups as they often feel alone. In the groups I have led, children have communicated their comfort in simply knowing that they are not the only ones with divorcing parents. As in Kangaroo's Candy, it is important for parents to help children see that divorce is not their fault, and although their family unit will change, they will continue to be loved.